I'm here with Michael. He's Vice President at Telemetrics. And, you serve the broadcast, government, education markets. So tell us in a nutshell what your products do, but also how COVID-19 has affected how people are producing content at the moment.
Yeah, so I would describe our company as a robotic and software company. So we make high-end broadcast robotics as well as cost-effective entry point robotics as well. And in addition to that, we really pride ourselves in our control systems. So we make different control systems for studio customers, for legislative customers, houses of worship, various different broadcast market segments. And, all businesses have been affected by COVID-19, ours included. It's been challenging working with customers around the world when we cannot travel. But we're doing the best we can to support our customers and work with them very closely.
That's great, Mike. Now it appears obviously you've got a robotic kind of or camera systems that are certainly well suited to all this social distancing stuff we've got, but you've got some cool AI features too.
Yeah, so we've been hard at work. One of the features that we're constantly evolving is our reframe feature. And that we've had now for a few years, but we've really improved the functionality of the system. So we have a lot of AI features in the back end that controls how the tracking works. So not simply just following somebody on the screen, but using the intelligence that we have working with operators for a very long time and making it seem more operator-like. So not just a pan left, a pan right as someone's moving, but zooming in, zooming out, adjusting the focus as necessary. And one of the things that we're doing is a little bit different is we're combining both facial tracking and object tracking so that not only do we know it's a specific person, we know who that person is, but we also see the entire body structure as well. So that makes it a little bit more robust. If you're going to have someone that's going to be in an auditorium or even a classroom and they're going to be turning around, not always looking at the camera, maybe a talk show, combining those elements is very critical to get robust tracking.
Now, certainly you need to support the customers at this point in time. So how do you give them training and commissioning?
Yeah, so that's the good thing about our products. We've been doing remote commissioning for quite a while prior to COVID-19. So it's just kind of expedite that whole process. So now we will, instead of traveling, getting on a plane, we'll pretty much do the entire commissioning process remotely. It does make it a little more difficult for some customers. Some of the training too is a little bit nicer to be there with the person, hand in hand with them. But we do have a lot of videos that we show customers, have a lot of really good documentation, and we're able to pretty much do it all remotely.
So you told me about some of the features, but tell me what the biggest value of having a robotic camera system brings.
The repeatability, the robustness of it, it'll last for a very long time. We have customers, we just had a customer the other day call us up that has, a 10-year-old plus system. It's still working very well. They need a new power supply for something. So, it's definitely a long-term investment. It's also really good right now because it allows you to do that social distancing. So instead of having a whole bunch of people maybe on a studio set, you can have a lot less people there and have them isolated in separate rooms, controlling the cameras remotely. So you can still get that one-to-one type of feel that you got when you had the people in the studio, but now from a robotic control panel at a safe distance in their separate rooms.
Yeah, now studios is one thing. How about other types of government facilities?
So we make a legislative software package. It's also, very rich heritage in our company. We've been making that software package for a very long time. And that's also very critical because in this environment, you're still going to have government meetings. The public needs to be kept aware of what's going on in the government. So having that legislative software package is critical. We can take a production that would be of 5-6 people and streamline that down to one person. So for example, we have the United Nations in New York City. And for most of those meetings, they are running those with a single person. So a single person will sit in front of our control panel. We will control the video switcher. We'll control the graphics. We'll do actions based on microphone triggers. And in a fully automatic mode, what can happen is basically the system can run by itself. So a certain delegate can begin talking. We will know based on the system where that person is sitting, what's the best camera for that person. We'll move that camera off air. Once it gets into position, we'll automatically put that camera on air. We'll call up the lower third for that person, and then we'll automatically, after a few seconds, remove that graphic.
Well, certainly, you know, everybody's into remote production at this point in time and producing live content. You talked about some government stuff, but how about with broadcast and how you fit into those workflows?
Yeah, we have a lot of big enterprise customers. We have sports customers. We have, you know, Major League Baseball, for example, and they're using all of our systems in a large type of environment for remote productions. So, for example, right now at every Major League Baseball stadium, there are robotics there, and that's all being controlled from a remote location here in New Jersey, and it just makes everything much easier. They have a lot of functionality as well. So not only are we just controlling robotics, you know, we control encoders, we control decoders, we do some local video routing, some remote video routing, audio. So we have a lot of controls built into our systems. I think it works really well for remote productions because when you have these people at home or these anchors at home now, they don't just have robotics there. They have lighting, there's audio, there's other elements to that remote production that we can handle, and we can streamline that process to not make it as complicated as it needs to be and make it easier for everyone to do these remote productions.
Now, you see a lot of customers, so any advice for those listening?
Yeah, so for us, kind of like we talked about before, just leveraging our enterprise database control system, allowing us to automate a lot of this process so that it doesn't need to be overly complicated. I know when everything first happened, it was more about just getting on air, producing content, but we can still produce great content remotely. And that's something that we're experts in, and to allow us to aid customers in. And also, you know, I really would say the success of our company has really been based on customer feedback. And now with these new challenges on the horizon here, it's great to talk to manufacturers like ourselves, describe the problems that, you know, customers are encountering, and then allow us and work together to come up with some pretty cooperative solutions that works for everybody.
Well, Michael, it's clear that telemetric is ideally suited to meet the future of television, but also other types of video production.
You're right, Stan. And as a small company, Telemetrics is uniquely positioned that we can quickly react to new technologies. And I think a couple of great examples of that is our reframe feature, which we talked about, and also our OmniGlide roving pedestal, which we could have a whole nother half-hour conversation on that product. So we're continuing to blend technologies of AI into our product portfolio, and I can't wait to see what customers will do with them in the future.